Welcome to the Sean and Geek and Fat podcast.
Yeah, you got it, folks. It's me again with a little attitude for all you out here in White Bread Land. Let's see, we're on 92 FM tonight. It feels like a nice, clean little band so far. No one else is using it. Price is right.
Did you find you crusty, Dave?
This is bigger than friendship. This is what you call cosmic. Yeah. The Buddhists call it, let me see, reincarnation.
Wishy. Hey, wait a minute. Since when is Pismo Beach inside a cave?
I wonder, I just think we should have turned left at Albuquerque. And then maybe a right turn at La Jolla.
Shush! Hush, please!
It's almost like as you get older, you slow down, your interests slow down, the type of music you have is like, it's not that type thing. You kind of slow that down too.
You can pay more attention?
More attention to it because you're not so, I don't know what you want to call it. When you're young, it's like there's just too much going on. I don't have time.
Yeah.
And then when you slow down, it's like, okay, when you finally smell the roses, it's just like same with work. Like when people get older, when they're younger, they're ambitious, they go. As they get older, and when people have an opinion and stuff, and as you get older, you just don't give a shit. It's sorry to say, because after a while, when you've lived long enough, it's like, why do I care so much about say such and such opinion or whatever, and you take it to heart, and it's like, you know what? Why bother? Like, what's with the stress? Like, what is that giving me? All that's giving me is more anxiety. So just kick back and just don't worry about it so much.
Does it mean more for your boss to say, "Good job, Todd," or does it mean more for Donner to go, "I love you, Todd"?
Oh, I love you. Home is better than work. I mean, work is just work. When you're home, that's your life. I mean, work is life too. Unfortunately, 8 hours of the day for 5 days a week, depending if you're on shift or if you're working overtime or whatever, that's your life when you're working. But when you're home, that's when you start living. That's your real life. Because if you think further out in the future, when you're retired and you're at home, what's going to matter? It's going to matter the person that you're with.
Amen.
It's like when it's important, like especially when you have kids and you're together, you have to have that time together because you don't want to end up to where the kids move out or are done, and then you look at each other and go like, who are you? Like, you haven't really spent any time together. So for us, we were kind of fortunate where when we met, our kids are grown up and they're grown out. It wasn't a part of life where we had to kind of deal with other things other than ourselves.
Yeah. You take the time with each other.
So, I mean, I had my kids earlier. You had your kids later. When I had my kids, you were out doing all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like at home. Now you have kids, and now I get to sleep in.
Yeah.
But the thing
I know too, and there's also like every once in a while you're like you kind of drop a hint like, oh, whenever you want to work on music, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, and then the first thing I think of is, okay, now if I schedule this and I move this around, I can do that, and like
there is no pressure.
Oh, I know.
If we do any type of music, and I'm the type of person who procrastinates. So I mean, I think you gave me something for drums. I couldn't get it to work, but it was like I kind of gave up too easy on it. I should have went and tried to download a whole bunch of stuff to try and to get it to work. But,
yeah.
I mean, when you get into a schedule and you say, when you get home, you do this. That's kind of your evening. You sit back, you kick back. You want to relax. You want to do, music and stuff. I grab my guitar. I get my pedals. You know what? I've got my monitors, and then when I get the music in stereo, it's almost like that's my therapy. That's my therapy. Music, and you don't realize it sometimes because you don't listen to it, and sometimes I'll be.
You don't stop to listen to the music.
No.
Most people don't. They don't stop for 5 minutes to listen to the music.
But I know how much I love music. But then when you're away from it for a little while, and I'll be just on on Facebook. And all of a sudden, you get those reels that come in. I mean, sometimes I get Why Not that shows up, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll be playing, a Rush tune. And it'll be like, oh, yeah, I'll listen to that going, geez, I should listen to that because that's, it's been so long since I've heard that song. And just like any other tune that'll show up, or if there'll be I don't know what they call them, TikToks or whatever.
Oh,
and there'll be a song in the background. It's like, oh yeah, I'd love to listen to that song again. Then you kind of listen to it, and you kind of lose that. So for me, it's almost like it's like food for the soul. But that's our thing, music, right? So
yeah.
I mean, that's how it affects me.
Do you want to hear something funny about music though? Do you know how many people don't listen to music that way? A lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people. But
that's not their thing, though. They have other things that make them feel that way.
But like what? What's more important? I don't know. Like that's one of the things.
Some people drink. Some people have drugs. We just do it naturally.
Because you listen to music every day, don't you? Like on the way to work, on the way home. Like there's music in your life every day, right?
Pretty much. I mean, when we go to work, I mean, I get Sirius XM, and now I listen to CNN on the way to work and back. But, but if there's a song on, like sometimes, like a Friday or Saturday night, I'll just bring my guitar out, and we'll have YouTube on, and then we'll just be playing stuff, and I'll play guitar,
really?
and then all of a sudden,
that sounds like so much fun.
And you have a couple drinks, and all of a sudden, I'm singing, right? So it's not something I normally do. So that's it's therapeutic for sure, but that's more for people who, I mean, especially musicians, because that's what they like to do. They like to play the music. They like to emulate what they hear, right? Mm-hmm. That's the whole reason why. I mean, you hear a song like when I first heard Def Leppard, Pyromania, I was like, oh my God, how do I learn how to play this?
Okay, wait, I got to stop you now.
Okay,
because you talked about Pyromania.
Okay,
Def Leppard. And I promised I wouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
Kevin Brown.
Okay.
Kevin Brown, you know Kevin Brown?
Mm-hmm.
You might have forgotten who he is because he's very forgettable. But that piece of shit said that album stinks.
Get out of town. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that sucks balls.
I was going to tell you should listen to Corey's new show, The Ultimate Catalog Clash, but unfortunately, it's co-hosted with Kevin Brown, so don't even bother.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't bother doing
He just shits all over that album.
Does he?
Yeah.
Why? What's wrong with it?
You'd rather listen to Genesis, I guess. I don't know.
Really? Well, I mean, Genesis I'd listen to too, but hey, what's wrong with Pyromania? I mean, that's pretty good. It's better than Adrenalize. Mind you, Adrenalize was, as Def Leppard kind of went, they were kind of pigeonholed as an 80s band. So then when Adrenalize came out, it was like, okay, well, this is kind of an extension of that.
Adrenalize or Hysteria?
In Hysteria, or was it, which one was first?
Well, it was Pyromania.
Right.
And then it was Hysteria.
Oh, okay. Hysteria was good.
Which took like 17 years to record because, because the drummer lost his arm and then...
Yeah, they were just riddled with
problems.
Just, oh my God, setbacks and they kept coming back. Mm-hmm. That's what you... And actually, I was listening to...
And then Steve Clark dies after the Hysteria tour.
Yeah. I watched an interview. I guess it was at TikTok. I don't know. It was just a short clip from the drummer.
Brought to you by TikTok.
But it was a drummer. I can't remember his name. I'm not good.
Rick Allen?
I guess
their drummer?
The one who lost his arm and stuff. Yeah. So he was talking about the band and the longevity and everything. And he said that, I guess, with all the setbacks that they had, that's kind of what brought them kind of together.
Closer.
Yeah. So, I mean.
Yeah.
And I was listening to, was it Geddy Lee? And he was talking about the band. I mean, there was only 3 of them. And they said, you know what, and they're Canadian, and they had that Canadian mentality where, I mean, they joked around with each other, and and there was 3 of them, so you'd never have like 2 against 1. And if ever there was a prank or something that both of them would play on one of them, they kind of feel bad, after type of thing. And that was just kind of the camaraderie. I mean, I've seen a couple of clips where they were together, like in a bar, just kind of talking and stuff. It's really nice to.
And it's like, wow, they're actually friends.
Yeah, it's almost like when you're watching. It's like a podcast almost thing, but it was just kind of a live, not really even an interview. It was just kind of like watching them interact together.
Yeah,
which is kind of what we were talking about, like with podcasting, was kind of like if you're like when you're younger and you had your aunts and uncles and your cousins and stuff, and you have a party and everyone would be talking and there'd be different conversations going on. It was kind of like that, right? Which was pretty cool. So I don't know where I was going with that. I just kind of ran.
I just let you go. We're talking about Def Leppard.
Yeah. So yeah, and when I first heard Pyromania, and I had my uncle's Telecaster.
Well, you were telling a story about Pyromania a few episodes ago. It's like, oh, I had no idea, because Mike, who had that album, Mike, or something, I can't remember. Anyway, you said you would listen to it all the time in the car.
Oh yeah, Mike
on the drives.
Mike Belleville. Yeah,
Mike Belleville. Yeah,
yeah, or Woodrow Belleville. Yeah. So yeah,
or as I would say, Bellero.
So yeah, those Mike, Norm, and myself, and we'd be in his dad's Impala, 81 Impala or whatever it was. It was like a.
Was that one a boat?
Well, we had an Impala. Dad had.
That was an Impala, that big green boat?
No. That was the big green boat. No, that was a.
Like the big fucking thing.
That was a Plymouth 4000 or 400. I don't know. It's just a huge.
Do you remember hitting the ditch with that thing?
Yeah, I hit the ditch with that thing. That was terrible. Trying to face Dad afterwards, trying to get him to come and get it out. It's like, oh my God, just kill me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was stressful. I was just going to go see, I guess, my girlfriend at the time, but the thing is,
I don't even remember why I was in the car.
Were you in the car? No, you couldn't have been in a car.
Because that was the corner on the other road.
Yeah, the other road.
On the other side of the 4-lane there.
Yeah.
And around right before the corner, you went into the ditch, and that person's ditched into the yard.
Well, I took it into too close, I guess. Too
sharp.
Inside.
Too sharp.
Too sharp, and the whole thing spin around. But I think what I did is I downshifted. And then the rear wheels locked up. And then
because back then, that's how the cars worked, right? It was rear wheel drive.
Yeah. So, and I can't remember. You were there?
Oh, yeah.
Where were we going?
I remember it was like slow motion. I don't know where the fuck we were going. Were you dropping me off at Troy's house, maybe? Or?
That's a good possibility.
Because I would have been super. Well, wait. You were 16.
Yeah.
I would have been
14?
13?
13?
14, 13, something.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Boy.
I just remember that car was like a fucking tank.
It was huge. You could fit. It was like it was like a sofa in the back seat and in the front seat. It's like driving with 2 sofas, and it had a 400 in it.
I always felt when you drove that thing, I always felt that we couldn't fit another car on the other lane. Like it was so fucking wide.
Well, yeah, it was wide. It was this huge thing. It was a. Oh my God! What the hell was it? It was a Plymouth. Well, maybe it would just call it 4,000, but
yeah.
It.
Do you remember? You used to take me for drives all the time. I enjoyed that. Did you remember we were driving down
in this same car?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this thing when you put the gas down, the speedometer will go up and the gas gauge will go down at the same time. That's how much gas this thing would take.
Yeah.
And this was unleaded, or this was leaded. Was it leaded gas? I remember leaded gas smelled pretty good.
I remember it being loud. Or I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. I think so.
Because
no, you would never know you had the stereo cranked.
Well,
because it had a tape player, right? Or did it? No, that was too early for tape players, right?
But before that, Dad had a 74 Skylark.
The Skylark, yeah.
Yeah, the Skylark was like a gold... gold flake type paint job.
Yeah.
And then it had a 350 in it. I remember the exhaust was rotten out of it. And then Dad took it out for
that one used to
down to
that's the one.
To the pit. We went down to Chloe's.
Jesus Christ.
There's some old
Did you ever go to La Pitapo?
I think we
I'm
went.
trying to remember if I went there with you one time.
No, I think I went down when I went down to visit Mike and Norm. I think we went there
because that was in.
But there was nothing. But there was nothing really going on.
Wasn't that in Haute Aboujagane?
Yeah, and then we met
all our American listeners. Like, what language are these two speaking? Haute Aboujagane.
There, if you're from Capilé or Haute Aboujagane or out by
but the Pitapo was right in. Wasn't it near Haute Aboujagane?
Oh God, I don't know.
Because that's where Richard's grandparents lived, right? And up there. And I remember going. I can't remember if it was with you or if it was with Vincent and Serge.
Right.
Fucking Vincent, man. 2000, I used to call him.
2000?
Yeah. If you translate Vincent.
Oh, 20,000. Yes,
yeah.
2000.
We used to call him 2000.
2000.
Or Vinny Jones, we used to call him because he was going to leave us to go to university to go in archaeology.
Did he?
Yeah, he got his degree and everything.
Well, look at that.
And
he followed his dream.
He bought a fedora.
Okay.
And he bought a whip. And he taught himself how to use the whip. He used to show us.
Wow.
I don't know if he ever learned how to use a gun, but he's a good blues player.
Yeah?
Yep.
Cool.
He sent me a video of him playing a blues song. It was fucking just brilliant.
Wow.
But I remember, so what I was going to say about Vincent, he'd go to these bush parties or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he would always regale me and Richard and Brian, Fergie, the other Fergie, stories about him. He'd always like these stories like, oh, fuck, I was drinking and then I kind of passed out in the car and there was these two girls and then next thing I know we're in fucking Maine. Had to call my parents and I had to tell them, like I'm in Maine, I'm going to try to get back, a hitchhike or something, I don't know. But holy fuck, did I have a good time. This is a good time.
Well, hey,
I said and then we're like, me and Richard, like, we're like, whatever the fuck we were, like 11, 12 years old. We're like, you were in a car with two girls? Yeah. There's always this thing. There was this story. I can't remember what the whole gist of it was. But the ladies liked Vincent. Oh. He had that curly hair. It was like, but it always like stuck out like sideways and then up. It was like almost like a fro.
Like the guy on the 70s show got arrested, that guy?
Yeah. I actually exactly like that guy. But the ladies loved him.
Really?
Oh my God. It was disgusting.
They like to run their fingers through his hair, probably.
I remember I told him one time, I said, Vincent, yeah, Sean, what do you want? I said, and there was this girl that lived in Haute Aboujagane. Her name was Bonnie. I had the biggest crush on her. I'm like, do you think you could talk to Bonnie there? She lives in the house in the corner. And he's like, I could talk to her, but I can't promise you she's not going to fall for me.
You know what? That's the stupid thing. Because you'd have someone say like, you know what, this person's interested in you.
Yeah, because that's what you used to do, right?
But the person that says it
is usually the more attractive of the two of us.
The one is like, oh, well, I mean, you had the guts to come up and talk to me, so why don't we just keep talking?
You know what? That's probably describes my entire dating life.
Yeah, so it's a weird thing. It's like, why don't you introduce me? Well, you know what? If I go over there and introduce myself to introduce you, I've already introduced myself. So that kind of takes the onus off of you and more on me. So if you want to go talk to her, I think it's best if you do it.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's some advice for you kids out
I think
there.
Vincent was like,
if you like somebody,
he was waiting for me to scope out who was attractive.
And then he's
he's like, oh shit, I didn't even notice that one. Thank you very much, there, Sean. I'll go talk to her for you. And if she likes me, it's not my problem.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my friend likes you. It's like, well, yeah, why didn't that friend come out? Because they're shy, right?
Yeah.
And that's what fucks everything up, because the person that's shy usually gets shafted in the end.
Too fucking shy.
Yeah. You got to get out of your shell. I know it's hard. I mean, for me, I wouldn't say shit. I had a mouthful when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like to ask anybody out. I didn't ask anybody out. I waited until they asked me out. And then I was like, okay, the pressure's off. Like I don't have to, which was kind of stupid. But if there's somebody that you wanted to ask out, like you didn't have the balls to do it.
No.
So, yeah.
I definitely never did.
So you kids out there, if there's someone you like, just go for it. Like,
go talk to them.
And I know when you're younger, they say, like, what's the worst that can happen? They can just say, no, it is the worst thing that can happen. And that's the only worst thing that can happen. Just go for it. Because if you don't go for it, you're not going to know, what the outcome will be. And you'll always wonder in the back of your mind, what if? You don't want to go through your life going, what if?
No.
Because, it'll just repeat in your head.
I could have been Mr. Bonnie.
You could have been.
Yeah.
Could have been.
I wonder what ever happened to her. I don't know.
I always wanted to, you get your yearbook, right?
Yep.
And everyone, pretty much everyone has Facebook now, right? Why wouldn't you go in the yearbook? Look at the person's name, any name. Doesn't matter who it is. Just look it up. See if they're in there and look at them and look at the picture of they were back then. Just to compare, to say like, wow, they haven't changed. Or, no, that's not the same person.
Yeah. Well, because I've done that. I've tried to reconnect with my girlfriend from grade 4.
Oh, really?
Grade 4, grade 5. Can't remember. One of those 2 grades.
I had one girl when I was in grade.
And we went out for 4 days.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I was in grade.
She held my hand once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grade 3, 4, 2. I can't remember. But it was, and I remember she used to chase me around the rink. And
she loves you when she chases you around the rink.
This was, it's probably grade 2. I can't remember now. And we were in Shediac, and we're going around the rink, and she would chase me because she liked me. And I didn't.
Grade 3?
Well, mind you, when you're that young, I mean, everything's innocent. It's just
everything's
right. But later on, it's like, what? I wonder whatever happened to that person, right? And you look up the name, and it's never like, and I don't even remember what that person even looks like anymore.
Yeah.
So, and as soon as someone marries, the last name changes. Sometimes they'll put their maiden name in there. Yeah. But, yeah. Or,
I reached out to the one.
Yeah, did you?
Brigitte.
Yeah.
And we had a nice little chat. I mean, it was grade 4. Like, she bought me gum once.
Yeah.
She held my hand for like,
I was
10 seconds,
I was terrible. I had, like, my first girlfriend.
But she asked me out.
Yeah.
And she was the most popular girl in school, and she asked me out.
Oh, really?
And we went out for like 4 days or whatever the heck it was.
Cool. Where'd you go?
We just walked the halls together at school.
Yeah.
That was about it.
Yeah. Well, that was a big thing back then.
Oh, it was a huge thing back then.
But
she was the most popular girl in school. She asked me out. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was terrible. I had gum. A girl gave me gum.
That was a thing. The gum was because were you supposed to chew it and then trade it, right?
No,
wasn't that how that worked?
I don't. No. What I did is it was double bubble or something. She gave me the gum and I kept it. Like I put it back in the wrapper and I had it in my bureau for years. This was like from grade.
I love this.
I want to say grade 6. It's probably way younger than that.
Yeah,
but I had it in my drawer for years. Like it was like, okay, come on. But that was kind of to me that was a sentimental thing.
I'm gonna get Donda to give you a piece of gum.
Yeah. But I kept it for years. I'm not going to name any names because they would know who it is. And
I already named too many names, but I didn't name last names. Most of the names are so common that you wouldn't know what the last names were.
Yeah.
But Fergie would know, but
yeah, when you're young, your life is different. When you're young, because everything's so innocent, and then you think, I want to get older because I want to do. My parents say I can't do this, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I want to do what I want to do. I can't wait till I get older. And then when you get older, it's like, oh my God,
I wish I was young.
I wish I was young again. But when you're young and people tell you, this is the best years of your life, you don't realize it because you don't know what they should do.
It's not the best years of your life until that part's over.
I mean, what they should do. I mean, not do because then they'll ruin your life. But if they showed you what the future brought and what you had to do, that they're shielding you from when you're younger, then you would appreciate it more. And I think they want you to appreciate it more, but they don't really want to show you
What's after?
What's after? Like you have to work and then you got bills and a lot of stress. And I mean, most of it is work related and money. Money is what's make the world go around. So when they say get a good job, they're not saying it just because they want to be dicks, right? They want you to succeed because they don't want you to struggle because when they were young, they struggled. I mean, they had 18 kids in the house and they had to share a bike and a pair of shoes. And, I mean, it's not to that point now. We have way more now. There's probably a lot more waste now.
There's more waste. You have more things. You have a laptop. You have a smartphone. You have a tablet. You have a nice TV.
All the updated
Everybody
stuff.
has that
The best.
nowadays. But back then, to get a TV in the house was such a big fucking deal.
Yeah, and it was one TV. It wasn't like, if you had two TVs, like we had one TV downstairs, which is the console, back when they made wooden consoles, right?
Yeah.
And then I think Mom and Dad had like a Zenith or Sanyo
I think it was
or something
Zenith.
that was
I
upstairs.
think it was a Zenith. Oh, wait. The one upstairs?
The one upstairs was like a plastic case. It wasn't.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't as good.
Yeah, that was the one where it had the dial on it. Like we had channel 13. You had to turn the dial. It was
I remember
snowy.
that. I can hear the click.
Yeah, and then you'd get...
And the static as you...
Yeah, so I don't know.
Channels?
Did it pick up Charlottetown or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, channel 13.
So you'd have to kind of turn it. Channel 11 was French.
Yep.
We had channel 2 and channel 7.
And then
7,
later
11,
they added
and
channel
13.
9, which is another French one, I think.
Was it 9?
I think it was 9 or something. Yeah. But I used to watch the Charlottetown had better TV for some reason, but it was so fuzzy.
Better programming.
Yeah, they had switchback.
My God, I can't remember how many times. Yeah, because Mom and Dad had the TV in the bedroom, and I'd go in there and you'd play with the rabbit ears, trying to get, the best signal type thing. Yep. And then we were lucky, like later on, it was like, technology kind of evolved. And then Uncle Peter had one of those, it was a video disc player. So instead of it wasn't a DVD.
It was like a record.
Back then it was a record, but it was like a gold color.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it had a specific type of player, and you stuck it in, and we watched Tron, which was one of the
Tron.
shows.
And then what was the other one? Was it on Golden Pond?
On Golden Pond. And then there was another one where we watched it at Mimea McGinnity's. We watched Taps.
Yeah.
And I think we watched the one with the gopher and Bill Murray.
Groundhog? Caddyshack.
Caddyshack, I think was one of them.
Wow.
And then from there...
And then to actually have a movie you could watch at home that you didn't have to see in the theaters.
Right.
Holy shit, that was like revolutionary.
Yeah. I mean, the only time you see it in theaters if you had a bag of Robin Hood flour, and then you had you'd snip the coupon off so you could actually go to the movies. What was it? Was it called?
Well, we didn't have a movie theater.
I think we had one in Moncton.
In Moncton, yeah, but this is so far away.
Well, yeah, that was far away. But I remember
that always made a big deal. Like we went to Moncton all the time, but it was always made like a big. Well, we can't go in there and see a movie.
Yeah, well, we saw the apple dumpling gang.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Don Knotts.
But they did have a theater in Shediac.
Shediac.
They did have one, the drive-in, but then they added a little mini theater there. It was very, very tiny.
I don't remember another theater. It was just a drive-in.
Oh, it was right next to the drive-in. It was tied in with the drive-in somehow. I think. I don't think it's still there. And it was like, I don't know.
I wonder if the drive-in's
it felt like it
still
was
there.
like a 30-seater or less sort of thing.
I wonder if that's still there, the drive-in theater.
Google Map.
That'd be pretty cool.
Go look.
Well, you have to do it at night. Because remember at Uncle Junior's, we'd be going from Uncle Junior's going home, and as we were going south...
You could see the screen.
You could see the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
Drive-in.
Puff the Magic Dragon. We saw Cheech and Chong.
Yep. Wait, you saw Cheech and Chong?
Cheech and Chong.
What?
Believe it or not, yeah.
Which one?
We saw Grease. Puff the Magic
Neptune Drive-In Theater.
Neptune. Is it still there?
Oh my God. Long-running drive-in movie theater screening current movies and offering concessions. What the fuck?
Blast from the past. If I go back home, we got to go to the drive-in theater. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Because I remember we would somehow get to the fence because we couldn't afford to go in. And we'd just kind of look over the fence.
Well, how did you get to the fence?
Well, you could see the screen, but you couldn't hear anything, right?
What's with Mom and Dad? When did you go? Did you go with Richard and them and go trying to sneak in?
I think so, yeah. Or Troy, I can't remember.
Okay.
There's the building.
Oh, is that the snack bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, they opened out a snack bar, opened out 15 minutes after that's closed for the evening. Shh, thank you.
It's still fucking there, dude.
Hey, man.
Oh, man.
How many tickets,
this
man?
is fucking awesome.
2 tickets, man. That's right, man. 2 tickets.
How many people you got in the car there? Just the 2 of us. That's the 2 of us, like 1 and 2. The 2 of us.
Yeah, that right, man. What's the hassle, man? There's only 2 of us. Hey, man, there's only 2 of us.
Are you giving us a hassle, man?
Hey, man, it's raining out here, you guys.
Raining cats and dogs.
Oh, my God. I used to recite that whole album.
Yeah.
Is it Los Chinchinos?
Yeah.
Right from beginning to end. And we used to go to Mère and Pépé's when I was taking the cords of wood and throwing it through the window.
Oh, my God, through the window,
and
yeah.
they had that swing that went back and forth.
Yeah.
And then you had the trailer.
Yeah.
And then you go to one end and then the lip would come up and you go back to the end and the lip would go down and hit the ground. And I would recite this whole Cheech and Chong album from one end to the other.
God.
Hey, man, 2 more cars over there. Better tell those guys to be quiet, man.
Hey, you guys be quiet, man. We're almost at the ticket thing.
Hey, man, 1 more car.
Hey, shut up, you guys. Hey, man, shut up. Here comes the dude.
Hey, man, be quiet. Here he comes. Hi.
How many tonight?
Oh, how many tickets? Well, they're just me and him. We're just here together, and I mean, like, we're not together, you know, like that way. Like, I mean, we're gonna meet some girls inside, man. You know, like pick them up, you know. And so I guess they're just me and him. Like, so 1 for him and 1 for me. Well, that's 2. We'll take 2 tickets. Ain't that right, man?
What's the hassle, man?
There's no hassle, man. Just
hey, are you giving us a hassle, man?
Hey, man, he ain't giving us no
man,
hassle,
there's only 2 of us, man.
Yeah, that's right. There's only 2 of us.
That'll be $1.
Oh, $1. Hey, man, you got 50 cents? Hey, man. There you go. Thank you, man.
Hey, we did it, man.
Man, we were so slick, man.
All right. Hey, you're really a smooth talker, man.
Gee, man, you just gotta know how to lay it on them dudes, man.
Hey, you're Mr. Cool when you want to be, aren't you?
Oh, Cucumber Head, they call me, man.
Hey, come on, let's get up.
I mean, there's other ones that I wanted to listen to. Because I know, because Sam used to have, or Kim and Kane.
Oh, yeah, they had the other ones.
Yeah.
With
the big
when it was
pill
a big
and
red
stuff.
pill, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. If you had the chance to relive your childhood with what you know today, would you do it?
No.
No? You don't want to go through all that again, right?
I don't think so, no.
Especially school. I wouldn't want to learn all that bullshit again.
Well,
having to remember, or like having to memorize all that bullshit.
See, some stuff, like school was tough for me, not because of the learning. Well, the learning side was, I don't know if you remember, I actually went back and looked at like our report cards and stuff.
Did you?
Yeah.
Ours?
Mom had them for a while.
Right.
And then I think what I'd found was my grades were horrible. Like I barely passed grade 1, grade 2. By grade 3, I started getting better. But the problem is that the teachers didn't speak any English.
Yeah, that was the big thing.
And we went to a French school.
Very first day. Yeah. My God, she grabbed my ear, pulling my ear because
thought you weren't listening.
Thought I wasn't listening. I didn't understand what the fuck she was saying.
Yeah.
And there was myself and Joel Cassidy. And we both, and for some reason they used to mix us both up. We both worked at the co-op at one point. And they were talking about, I don't know, something about our paychecks, and they screwed them up because, I don't know, we looked alike or something. I don't know. Or at least enough for them to mix it up. We didn't look alike, really, but, and he was the same way. Like, he didn't really understand. And his mom was actually deaf, so he did sign language.
Oh, shit.
But he wasn't, like, French. So yeah, that's what I remember. Like the first day of school, they gave you this little. It was a bag, and it had those little blocks in it, right? It had the different lengths of it and different colors, and you could play with the blocks and stuff. So I did that, and I guess she said something, and I didn't understand what she was saying, and then she got all upset, and she grabbed me by the ear and pulled me. It was like, what the hell?
They were so fucking abusive back then.
Yeah, well, you would have thought they were nuns, really.
Well, some of them were ex-nuns, I think, or something.
Oh, they could have been. But this, I read distinctly, and I mean, I've lost my sense of smell.
Was that at Central? Or no?
École
Saint-Cœur de Marie.
Saint-Cœur de Marie. No, Saint-Cœur de Marie, that was SAM.
Yeah. Where was grade? Now I can't remember. Grade 1, 2, 3 was where? On Central Road?
Alphonse? Where's the one that Zap lived on?
That was Alphonse.
So when you went up,
it was a couple of streets over.
On the right side, that's where the school was.
That's right. That was a grade 1 to 3. That was Central, wasn't it?
Central. Yeah.
Because it was like the main street was just at the end of the road there, like Main Street or whatever you want to call it.
It was right off of Main Street.
Yeah.
So as soon as you go up, you go in there.
The fire station wasn't the fire station.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, it was right there. So as soon as you went,
Stephen Pettipa used to work.
Yeah. So as soon as you went into the school, left hand side, very first class, that was my grade 1 class. On the other side, directly across, was another class. I'm not sure that was, but the one beside that one was grade 2. That was Thérèse.
Thérèse.
Thérèse Leger. Does that sound right? Wow, can I remember that?
Maybe
from way back when. She was really nice. My grade 2 teacher was very nice. I don't remember grade 3, but I do remember that we had. There was a school, but because there was so many kids, they had an extension on it where they had trailers.
Yeah.
So in the trailers,
which they have in all the schools nowadays. Like trailers are so common now,
right? And the trailers and I remember that's where we went for lunch.
Okay,
we go from there, and then we had the thermos, and you'd have like chocolate milk, but it was the powdered shit. So you'd always have that black gunk at the bottom of your cup, type of thing. And then you'd have an apple or whatever, and then a sandwich, and that was or a banana or whatever. And that was our thing. And then every, maybe once or twice a year, we had a day trip to, was it Magnetic Hill?
You guys...
And then, And then Mom, Dad would, they'd special, it was a special occasion. So you'd have a bag of chips with your lunch. Like you'd have something extra in there that you wouldn't normally have.
Vachon.
Jean-Louis. Yeah, and then you'd go, and then you'd be with your whole class, and then they'd all go to a certain area or go to the zoo and that type of thing.
I used to trade Mom's baking stuff for like a Joe Louis or whatever.
Oh yeah, or Oreo cookies because I mean, you want what you don't have, right?
Yeah.
You don't have hair, you want hair. You got straight hair, you want curly hair.
Yep.
You don't have.
You have home baked goods. You want store bought shit.
Right, because the store-bought stuff tasted different than what you had, although what you had, you didn't realize really because the other people, they would trade with you because they didn't have the homemade stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody really won because you could get it homemade all the time. So it was just something different. It's like eating steak all the time. Every once in a while you want a hamburger, right?
So what was the street on the school, Saint-Cœur de Marie was grade what? 7, 8, 9?
No, that was grade.
Because 4 and 5 was Béliveau.
Yes, Béliveau. Yes,
on Belleville Road.
Was it grade 4 and 5, or was it just grade 4?
Grade 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
6, 7, 6. Yes,
Piste Pelouse.
Yes, I remember it there.
I won the.
You had a badge.
Athlete. No, I won the actual trophy for the whole school.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
The last event was a shot put. It was between me and Jamie. I can't remember the last name.
Jamie, that's a very French name.
Jamie.
Not.
And Philip. They were brothers. Their mother had passed away. Philip was just, I don't know. I think he was into drugs and stuff when he was younger. And I remember he had a thing of Rush. It's some type of inhalant. I don't know, weird thing. But anyway, he was a kind of a weird Weird dude. But anyways, Jamie, it was between Jamie and myself, and the last thing was a discus.
Did you Tanya Harding him or?
No. I threw the discus further, so I got the trophy, which was cool. And I had the trophy for years, and I think Mom might have threw it out at one point, but that was pretty memorable. But
she sold it for Harlequin romance novels. So all I have to trade here is this trophy my son won.
Yeah.
Can I get 50 Harlequin romance books, please?
So after Boudreaux, we went to SAM.
Yeah.
And then SAM...
Well, that must have been 6, 7, 8 then, because Polyvalent
was 9, 10, 11, 12.
Was 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah.
Right. So yeah, SAM was
I think there's a place that still had nuns.
I don't know. I remember the basement is where the bathrooms were. So you had to go all the way down to the bottom. Yeah. And the Friar Streets would hang out there and friggin', cause trouble.
God.
Which back then...
that was the gang, the Friar Streeters.
The Friar Street, that was... Yeah.
Nell wore steel-toe boots.
The botin. Yeah, with steel toes. I kick you with them. But
I got in a fight with Bibit one time.
Yeah, Bibit.
Yeah, there's Bibit, and there was which is basically he was a small guy, and Bibit means bug.
Yeah,
it was Bibit, and I remember I got in a fight. I think it was Bibit. I got in a fight with. I can't remember now. But he was the kid I knew he was one of the kids that had the Friar Streeters had steel toe boots,
right?
And he would go around the playground and kick people.
Yeah.
Just kick people.
Yeah,
with a steel toe boot. Yeah. And he would do it, and then if anybody, reacted, he'd fucking kick your ass.
I think the Friar Streets, and I don't know what ethnic background they were, but they weren't. I don't think they were like, I don't really call it white, but they weren't. There were different ethnic background, and I don't know because we were so young back then. Everybody was
the same to me, yeah.
But later on, when you kind of reflect, it's like okay, they were like the Friar Street was an actual street, was called now Bellevue, but back then it was pretty much people were living in It was trailers.
Yeah, it was the poor part of town.
It was a very, very poor part of town, and it was very I'm assuming a lot of broken homes and whatnot.
Oh,
a lot of alcoholism and stuff. So they were, what do we call them? Troubled kids.
Definitely troubled kids.
And we didn't realize that at the time.
No, at the time they were just bullies and a gang and everything else.
They were just kind of lashing out. But, you kind of feel sorry for them after you
I do now.
Yeah, but I mean, back then they were just like bullies and
bullies beget bullies like a lot of times, right? So maybe they were getting bullied by their parents or it was not a good. I remember the bus. You
take the bus.
You take the bus down Friar Street,
and then you go like, "Wow, this is where you guys live." Like, wow.
But I remember there was one time we're all on the bus, and all of a sudden, some of the kids that lived on Friar Street started tossing rocks at the bus as the bus was driving, and we would drive really slow because you have to stop every 2 minutes to drop some kids off, and they started just launching rocks at the bus, and they shattered a few of the windows. And then
I don't remember this.
And then I'm trying to remember the bus driver. I was really young. This would have been when I was grade 1 through 3, I'm guessing.
Okay.
And the windows broke, but they didn't break through. Like they just like spider webbed.
Right.
And then the driver said, "Everybody, put your heads between your knees or whatever.
Really?
Stay down."
Wow.
And then he just tried to get us off the street.
Jeez.
Because he had to go to the end and kind of turn around.
Right, he had to turn around.
And they were just like, it was like a war. It was weird. It was like a war zone. They just kept firing. Could hear the rocks like hitting the side of like the bus, like clang, 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 clang.
Yeah.
It was just fucking terrifying for, grade 2, grade 3.
Well, yeah, you don't understand what the fuck's going on. Yeah. But that was, growing up back home was quite the trip. I mean, it's different than the city because we didn't have like in the city.
We got bussed into the city because we were kind of outside,
if you want
sort of.
If you want to call it the city.
Yeah.
Back then.
Was it town?
Shediac was a town.
I think it was like 3,000 to 5,000 people or something. I think. Didn't we look that up the one time?
I don't know. There was
and it's like way more than that now.
I mean, there was no Starbucks. There was none of that crap.
No.
Like this was back in the day. Like Texaco and wow. It was just
Irving.
a small town.
There was an Irving gas station.
Yeah.
At the end of the far end of the.
Now it's like a big city tourist trap.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were there, it was kind of like a tourist trap during the summertime. They had the Shediac Lobster Festival.
I got to look at the population here. I'm curious. But go on.
Yeah, well, the Lobster Festival was kind of the highlight. Uncle Junior would have a thing, and he'd be cooking cooking lobster and stuff. And we'd go on the rides, and they had like the Himalayan and stuff, and they had the zipper, and they had the ones where they would go upside down and stuff. It was, and we used to have. I like the ones where you had the darts, and then they had the balloons, and you throw it, and then you get the little tag, and then we get those little mirrors. I had the mirrors, like one was like Def Leppard, and one was like
my God, the mirrors!
Yeah, I remember the mirrors.
Yeah, I had
those
a Kiss
cool.
one.
I had a couple of those. Those are pretty cool.
Okay, I'm looking at the population here.
Like currently, you're back in '86 or '85.
I'm trying to see if I can figure it out here. Let's see. And
when you know what, I was watching a show, and when they say,
the population is only 7,535 right now.
Yeah,
it was a lot less than that before. Etymology, geography, demographics. That's what we want. Oh, here we go. Here's the populations. What year?
85.
Well, I can go 81, 86, 91. So 1981.
Okay.
4,289 people.
Okay, and we were there then.
Yeah, in 1991, it was 43. Like, it didn't really jump much.
What year? 93?
Yeah, 96 was 4664.
Yeah, some people probably moved away and whatnot.
Yeah, nobody stayed there.
But now it's like, I was watching, what's that famous place in not in New York, but south of that,
Baltimore,
where all the rich people go.
Oh,
we're going to the freaking.
I keep wanting to say the Ozarks, but that's not right. Yeah, I know the Hamptons or something.
Yeah, the Hamptons. And I was watching a show with I'm terrible with names. The one who accidentally shot the person during the filming.
Oh yeah, Baldwin.
We're watching the Baldwin thing on TV.
Yeah,
and they were showing when they went to the Hamptons, and I'm looking at it going, "Geez, that looks like New Brunswick."
Yeah,
and I looked at it and I went, "I'm going, it's got the same sand, the same water." And I'm thinking, where the frick is the Hamptons? And I'm going like, well, that's by New York. That's East Coast.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, you know what? We lived in that area.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
north
of
like
there,
in the Canadian version on north of that.
Yeah.
So it was like, it wasn't really all that different. I mean, we didn't have all the gardens and all the wineries or whatever they had there. But when I was looking, I was like, I mean, the trees, the sand, everything looks the same.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if people say, like, we can't live in the Hamptons, but let's go to Canada, I would say New Brunswick.
Yep.
And on the coast. Same idea.
Mm-hmm.
And in the winter
time, especially now, like, with everything all...
Yeah, and in the fall time, my God, when the trees turn color, it's just so beautiful.
Yep.
Like the yellows and the reds and the greens. Like, it's just... that type of thing. So now, if you go to New Brunswick, I think it costs you an arm and a leg. If you want to.
Yeah.
Like
we looked at the pricing in Shediac.
Like if you looked at where we used to live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you take, was it Google Maps, and you go down our street.
Yeah.
And I think Wayne LeBlanc, had bought some land that we had owned originally there.
Where the orchard is.
Yeah, when we lived there. Yeah. All the trees. And, I mean, they cut all that stuff down, but I mean, the whole properties and stuff. I mean, to live there now would probably cost you an arm and a leg. And you don't realize.
Now I want to look it up.
Because now, like, when you're younger and you live out in the boonies, you want to live in the city because there's no one there around, especially when you're a kid, right? and you get no one to play with. I mean, you just
we're so far from everything.
You either play with yourself or you play with whatever's around, right?
Well, you end up playing with yourself because there's no.
And your nearest neighbor.
Holy shitballs!
Holy shitballs!
What?
The average price of a home in Shediac, New Brunswick. Are you sitting down?
How much?
$537,000 to $714,000.
Wow, is that in the city?
What the fuck?
Did you say Shediac or Moncton?
Shediac.
Shediac. Holy.
Because it's kind of considered a. It's got the beach. It's a beach town.
If we would have stayed there, but there wasn't nothing.
Townhouses are 500. Townhouses,
like at the time,
they're not even a house.
Yeah,
it's attached. 592,000.
See, at the time, they didn't have all that telecommunications that they have there now, like all the jobs.
Jesus Christ,
they had nothing.
We're not moving home, Todd.
I mean, the CN shops closed down. That was the whole reason why we moved out here. Because there was no work, like it wasn't that great. It was like Canada was like a cow. They ate in the west, they lived in the center, and then they got the shit on the on the east coast. So that was kind of us.
So I'm looking at more here. So British Columbia, in comparison,
right?
The benchmark is 955,000.
Holy crap!
Fuck off! Like that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, the prices of housing is terrible.
Yeah.
In general. So, but anyway,
look what time it is.
I digress. What time is it?
It's fucking 10 o'clock.
Oh God. I guess we should probably cut it.
Yeah, we should probably cut it here. We're probably 17 episodes here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, let's cap it off there.
All righty, sir.
All right. So whatever. Socials, you know what they are.
Yep.
I gotta go pee. I'm dancing in my chair here. Woohoo! All right, we'll see you guys on the flip side.
All right.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.
And we'll see you next week. And bye. Have a good day.